Hello and welcome to Mucker Movies. Today we're at St Peter's and St Paul's Church, North Curry, which lies on the Somerset levels. During the Saxon period, large areas of Somerset was covered in marshland, with small areas of solid ground rising above the reed beds. One such area of higher ground was North Curry, near Athelney, where a long ridge formed, stretching out into the marshes. A church was erected as early as the 9th century, around the time King Alfred the Great founded Athelney Abbey in AD 887. It seems probable that the monks of Athelney built the first church at North Curry as they did at nearby East Lyng. The Saxon building would have been a very simple timber structure with a single aisle. The church would have looked dramatic, rising above the marshes, and probably served as a navigation beacon for travellers. Sometime around the 11th century, the timber church was rebuilt in stone. You can see the traditional Norman dogtooth carving in the north doorway arch. You can also see the remains of an archway in the present north aisle and sandstone from a blocked window. The heads on these effigies are missing due to the widespread destruction of religious images and statues during the Reformation in the 16th century and later in the Civil War. There's the names of the vicars who looked after the church from 1234 right up to 2022. There's graffiti scratched into the wall. It looks like it's been there for a very long time. This ancient chest was discovered in 1930, tucked away in the bell ringer's chamber, where it had presumably been placed for added security. The chest is built of elm slabs and weigh around £600. The exact date is unclear, but it was certainly prior to the 1200s and may have been as early as the late Saxon period. If so, it's one of the oldest parish chests in England. The chest may have been brought here from Athelney Abbey. Here we have a James Burge Hellard of Elland in this parish, who died October 23rd, 1880, aged 65. And Jane, his beloved wife, she died March 12th, 1887, aged 79. There appears to be so much to see in this church, it's going to take quite a while to look around. We have a Robert Ludwell Long of this parish. He died 1884 at the age of 51. Also his wife Anna, she died 1865, aged 83. This one I can't really read, it's too far up and it's very faded. We have a cupbearer, William Morris. He's born in 1864 and he died in 1922. And his wife Florence, she was born in 1864 and she died 1920. Here we have a Thomas Ploughman, died 1856, aged 79. Also Mary, his wife, she died 1855, aged 70. And also Jacob Barrett, died 1858, aged 84. And his wife of Jacob Barrett, Amy, she died 1835, aged 53. We have Hugh South, Captain North Staffordshire Regiment, who gave his life for his country on Vinnie Ridge, 9th of July, 1917. Let's have a look at this window a minute. There's lots of nice windows in there, stained windows. The 19 windows are fine features of the church and all display the decorative Gothic style of architectural tracery. There is no ancient glass, except for perhaps a fragment or two in the upper lights of the east window. The window tracery in the south transept is the oldest and dates from the 1300s. There are 5 windows with clear glass, and 13 of them have been filled with stained glass within the last 100 years. I've never seen so many stained glass windows in one church. We have a little secret door. An aumbry is a small cupboard for storing vessels containing the 3 holy oils used for baptism and confirmation. Here we have a Robert Hooper. He died 1720. And Kathleen, his wife, she died 1713, I think it is. Also F.Z. Thomas. Sarah Thomas, wife of John Hooper. She died 1762. Some kind of hobby horse. Or is it a donkey? It's hard to tell. This one again is too faded to read. Little door there. Wonder where that leads to. We have a William Morden. He died 1868. Look at this ceiling. Major William Bartlett, Jr. of Morden, presented the fine eagle lectern of brass on the coming of age of his eldest son, Colonel Bartlett, in 1884. Here we have a Mary Pring, wife of the Reverend D.J. Pring, M.A. Vicar of this parish, died 1922, aged 62. And we have a Daniel James Pring, M.A. priest, vicar of this parish, 1901 to 1928. Rural Dean of Taunton, 1903 to 1927. Preb of Wells Cathedral, 1923 to 1936. And he died 1936, aged 76. This tablet was erected by his children. Nice tiles on the floor, well looked after. John Scott Goad Esquire, died 1846, aged 59. Also, in memory of Sophie, relic of the above, John Scott Goad of Morden. She died 1871, aged 72. Well, we have to say glory of God for the men who died in the First World War. Alec Ashman, Alfred H. Bell, Marcel Bellringer, Joseph Brawley, or Bowley, Frederick Duke, Clifford Hayes, James Staples. So that lot was in the Somerset Light Infantry. Dorset Regiment was Charles Cadams. Devon Regiment, Henry Gannett, Charles Stevens. West Somerset Infantry, Yeomanry, as Charles C. Bartlett. Then we got John Baystone, Cecil Dennis, Bedford Dare, Percy Duke, Charles Staple, Frank Grinter, Stephen Slade, Edwin Ucker, Thomas House, Charles Lurd, Herbert May, Charles Wembridge, Ronald Self, William Squires, William Wakely, Frederick Andrews. Here we have 1939 and 1945, Second World War. Royal Navy, Francis W. Denham. Army, Peter J. Carr. Lieutenant, Francis G. Garwell. William May. RAF, Charles Edwards, and John Ebbich. He's a sergeant. The carved reredos behind the altar, designed by Mr. Bly Bond and executed by Messrs. Boughton and Sons of Cheltenham, was inserted by the Barrett family in 1916 in memory of Captain Charles Barrett, who fell in the First Battle of Earps. This effigy dates from 1360 and is of a Thomas of Slough Court, a layman who was a great benefactor to the church and neighbourhood. The candlestick was especially commissioned as a thank you to the North Village of North Curry for helping raise funds to replace our oak bell frame. The main stem of the candlestick represents the old 8 bells, starting at the bottom being the largest bell, the tenor, up to the smallest bell, the treble. These were all turned out of a part of an old oak frame. The tray at the top is also turned out of the old bell frame. The spike is the old nail used to hold part of the frame together. The 3 feet are old rope guides found in the ceiling, stopping the rope rubbing as it passes through. The oak candlestick was made by David Birch and commissioned by Darren Woodier, tower captain. Here it is. Nasty crack running through the tiles. Here we have the organ. Let's have a look inside if it's open. To the memory of Trevor Austin, organist from 2007 to 2018. We have in memory to Maud Mary Burton, Burthorn, wife of Major Burthon, and daughter of the late Thomas and Sarah Plowman of this parish, who died the 8th of February 1939, aged 83. Most of the carving in this chancel was done by her during the latter years of her life. Nice old chair. Better than these. The pulpit is of amstone, dating from the last restoration of the church in 1881. It is accessed by stone steps with a brass handle which replaced one painted of wood that stood on the ice stone pedestal and was made in 1832. The arches and the ceiling in this church must be one of the best I've seen for a long time. The pulpit is made from amstone, dating from the last restoration of the church in 1881. It is accessed by stone steps with a brass handrail and replaced one of painted wood that stood on an ice stone pedestal and was made in 1832. I can see you riding away. Nice piece of carving. In the Lady Chapel in the north transept is a pincia that has been restored, and its position may be where there was an altar in earlier times. Above it are two plain corbels, upon one which stands a figure of the Virgin Mary. Is this called a stoop? Where the water used to go in? Holy water, that is. Here we have Holyfield, widow of the late William Butt, Esquire, of Wimburn, Minster, and Holyfield, his wife, of Langton Long. She died 1851, aged 82. This one here is too faded to read. Hang on, I can make out a water king. He died, I think it's 1810, I'm not sure. We've got Charles John Chard Barrett, captain of the Royal Scot Fusiliers, killed in action at Odge near Earps on the 14th of November 1914 while in temporary command of the 1st Battalion, and was laid to rest in the grounds of the Heritage Chateau Odge. Mentioned in Sir French's dispatch of January the 14th, 1915, for gallant and distinguished service in the field. He was born August 1873, baptised in this church. He was the youngest son of William and Charlotte Barrett of Morden, North Curry. Educated at Eton and the Royal Military College, Sandhurst, served in the South African War, commencing in March 1900, with the operation in NATO, I think it says. The Transvaal, the Orange River Colony, Transvaal River Colony, and the action of Rudham, and gain the Queen's Medal with 3 classes. This brass is placed here by his wife. Another one I can't quite see. Here we have the Reverend William Young Corker, Deputy Lieutenant and one of His Majesty's Justice of the Peace for the County of Somerset, who departed this life in June the 26th, 1825, aged 61. Also Elizabeth, his wife, she died August the 15th, 1830, aged 68. Here we have a Miss Elizabeth King of Wickwer in Gloucestershire, who died 1866, aged 96. And we have a Robert Mead. He died 1825, aged 5 years. Also Charles Marshland Mead. He died 1825, aged 2 years. Son of Robert Mead, surgeon, and Harriet, his wife. Also Harriet, wife of Robert, she died 1885, aged 45. Also Sarah Mead of Bishop's Lydeard, she died 1826, aged 78. Robert Mead of Bishop's Lydeard, he died 1835, aged 77. Also Frances Early White Mead, daughter of Robert Mead, surgeon, and Elizabeth, his wife, who died 1845, aged 2 years, 9 months and 9 days. Also Richard Mead, he died 1861, aged 35, I think it is. 21st Rondo, Fusiliers, to the glory of God, and in the memory of George. These brass readings are so difficult to read. George Donald Barrett, Lieutenant, 1st Battalion, Royal Scots Fusiliers, born November 26, 1864, second son of Major W. Barrett of Morden, North Curry, who met his death on drowning while fishing in the River Dare, Aberdeenshire, on the 28th of May 1891. When quartered at, don't understand that, when quartered at Ballinteer on the Guard of Home to Her Majesty the Queen. The brass is placed there by his brother, offers as a token of their affection and esteem for the one who was beloved by all ranks of the regiment. A bit difficult to get too close to this when there's a chest in the way. See if I can stretch over. See his rib cage. Well, I suppose you haven't eaten for quite a while. This cardinal was added later and probably dates to the 15th century, though who it represents is unknown. Another old chest. I think I've missed something. Let's go back here. Yes. Somebody done some nice cushions here. So 1066. Battle of Hastings. I might be wrong. Here we have a model of the church, nicely made. This model was made in the early 1950s by Mr. Dredge, a parishioner. This pillar seems to be leaning to the right. I don't think you can see it on camera. There's some flagstones on the floor. It's worth coming to this church just to see the windows. think it's one of these churches you have to visit a few times just to make sure you see everything, because there is really so much to see here. To the gallant memory of Patrick Edward James Ryan, Lieutenant Royal Navy, who lost his life in His Majesty's submarine Titus in Liverpool Bay, June 1939. I think that's Titus. It's the name of the submarine. Here we have a James Edward Royal, OBE, B21st. So he was born on the 21st of October 1893 and he died the 14th of November 1955. He was the Chief Constable of Somerset, 1939 to 1954, sometime churchwarden of this parish. We got Clifford James Peard, DSO-JP, born the 14th of April 1889 and died March the 9th, 1958. This painting in oils of a style both quaint and crude, which is believed to date from the late 18th century. This is the end section of one of the original damaged oak structure beams removed and replaced from the belfry in 2023. It has been preserved in resin. The font of Amstone is octangle in shape, matching the tower of the church and the original plinth of the churchyard cross. Probably belongs to the early Perpendicular Gothic architectural period of 1377 to 1460. Very nice old looking tiles here. The brass candelabrum hanging from the roof in the middle of the nave bears the inscription John Pocock and Charles Howe, Churchwardens, 1809. This chair was made in fond memory of our parents, Ken and Lillian Russell, who first met in this parish of North Curry. I think we've seen everything inside the church. Hold on a second. There's one more thing. I don't know what it is. I spend a long time in this church today, so this is going to be a two-part video. So in the second part, I will show you around the outside of the church and read some names from some of the graves. I hope you enjoyed the video so far, and I'll see you in part 2 in a couple of weeks. So it's bye for now from Mucker Movies, and please don't forget to press the like button. Bye then.